Let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue News. Derek looks at the future Italy trip for students in the school. Johan explores youth involvement in organization and politics. And Kai explains what Capstone is all about. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hey Bulldogs, I'm Madison Burnett here with Dear Patel, and welcome back to Code Blue News.
I can't believe half of the school year is already over. It's going by too fast.
I agree. To officially end off the semester, Term 2 report cards will be distributed to students next Tuesday, January 31st. Be sure to head to your homeroom at the end of the day when you hear the announcement.
Also next Tuesday will be an upcoming practice lockdown drill. This is to help students and staff feel comfortable in these various situations. Please keep in mind this will only be a practice lockdown, so there's nothing to worry about.
If you're looking for a getaway at the end of the semester, be sure to enter the raffle in order to win a 2-day stay at Winetti Resort on Martha's Vineyard, one of the top resorts in New England. The proceeds will go towards supporting our team at Code Blue News. You can either enter the raffle via the HCAM website or by seeing a Code Blue member.
Still on the topic of trips, attention students in grades 9 to 11. Registration for the Italy trip is open and spots are filling up quickly. If you're interested in the trip and did not sign up and receive information, see or email Ms. Gallagher ASAP. A $200 discount is being offered to all students who register by Sunday.
That sounds like my kind of trip. But let's kick it over to Derek, who has more on the story.
As many of you may have heard, Homework Middle High School will be hosting an Italy trip in February of 2024. Let's take a look at what the trip has to offer.
The trip is 8 days, and that first day is really just an overnight flight to Milan. So we fly into Milan, we spend two nights and 3 days in Venice, which of course is, the canals and the bridges, and it's a lot of art and history and picturesque landscapes. And we will do a gondola ride, which I'm super excited about. Then we go on to Florence. Florence is of course the birthplace of the Renaissance, which you have the art, the history, the culture, the shopping, and it's just a lot of fun excursions based on that, a lot of museums and art in Florence.
The cost to go on the trip is just under $3,500 per student. That covers the 8 days, including airfare, breakfasts and dinners, all the hotels and all the tours and different things we'll do throughout the trip. For fundraising opportunities, the students will each get their own page through EF Travel, where they can get donations. EF Tours also offers scholarships, and once we have a committed group of travelers, we'll work on some fundraising that we could do locally.
Students can benefit in a lot of ways from these trips. When I was in high school, I did an EF tour trip, and it was really life-changing. That sounds really corny, but I learned of a new history, new culture, new way of life that I wouldn't have gotten staying in my small town. I was from, a very similar town, just like Holbrook, and I learned a new way of life and different customs, and I think students can really benefit from realizing that there's more than just what is here.
Living in Italy was very nice because the country is very beautiful. We're just surrounded by culture and ancient history, and there's just a lot of freedom when you live in Italy because you can just take the metro and the bus wherever you want to go, and that's the beauty of it. I think it'd be very important if students actually go to Italy because you get to witness history. There's just so many things to learn about the country in general, and I think it'd be very important to just learn about the country.
By going on this trip, you're getting an experience in a whole other country, getting to see another part of the world, that as you get older, those opportunities become fewer and farther between. So when you're young, that's definitely the time to travel.
The Italy trip is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for high school students who have not been previously offered an international trip. It will be a great experience. If you're interested, contact Ms. Gallagher for more information.
That's an opportunity of a lifetime.
Now let's shift our attention on This Week in Sports. On Tuesday, the girls' varsity basketball team went up against Southeastern, receiving a loss. On Wednesday, they versed Westport and had a tough loss as well. Today, the girls will play at home against West Bridgewater at 3:30 p.m.
On Monday, the boys' varsity basketball team beat Wayland 75-58. They played Westport on Wednesday, resulting in a tough loss. Tonight, they play West Bridgewater at home at 6:30 p.m. But on a better note, due to the success of the Mr. Monteith game, the school is able to donate $900 to a scholarship fund. Thank you to all who helped out.
It's amazing having so many talented basketball players at our school. Speaking of school, seniors, please check the Yearbook 2023 Google Classroom for important information regarding yearbook photo and senior write-up submission deadlines. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Morgan.
We also have many students interested in politics. Johan has more on the story.
Historically, youth involvement in politics has always been rather unpopular. Studies show that in 2016, voter turnout as young as 18 years old was just at 39%. However, when studied again in 2020, the number jumped to 59%.
One reason why younger people seem to get a lot more interested is probably the internet. The more you're on the internet, the more you hear about these things, and then just generally politics has gotten a lot more interesting recently. It used to be Mitt Romney and Obama, two guys just talking in business suits.
They came out, shook hands, ready for the main event.
Now it's much more interesting to people who have a lower attention span.
I think young people being involved in politics is one of the most important issues right now because they are the future of the political world and the social world as well. So it's up to them to develop ideas that will eventually create change in the political world.
Adults in Holbrook continue to push for youth to advocate for themselves and their communities so they can influence their future, inspire change, and make a difference.
Well, as far as younger people participating in government, I think it starts at home. It starts with the family. It starts with your parents. For me personally, growing up in the community where we were in public housing, I think when I got to an age where I could make a difference, say the teenage years, I always felt compelled to give back to the community because people were giving to me.
So I think because we have that civics project now, which we really started rolling out last year, students see that they can play a role in their community. They can take something that they disagree with or something that's wrong around us and fix it and change it. And if you don't like things that are going on in your life, well, you can vote out your elected officials. We do have a representative democracy that doesn't always work for us, but voting is the way we can make big monumental changes. And I think a lot of that is taught in civics classes now. And you know, this last election in November, it was young people that went out and voted that changed the results. And I think, you know, civics classes like this, and I think youth participation is a huge part of that.
It's always important to know how you can get involved in your local government. But for now, I'm Johan Rodriguez Vera reporting for Code Blue News, and back to you in the studio.
It really is important to have our youth groups involved in government.
Who knows, maybe we'll start the next generation of politicians.
Rose Therese Cap and Gown will be here today, January 27th at 10 a.m. to measure students for graduation gowns. The seniors and junior class officers will be called to the STEAM Commons.
What the heck? Write a check. That's the name of the junior fundraiser that is currently going on. If you want to support the class of 2024, be sure to write a check out to Holbrook Middle High School. This money will be used for events such as field trips, prom, and school activities. And did I mention that you don't need to purchase anything to support the class? Donations will close on February 17th.
Anyways, the junior class is also inviting you to a Winter Wonderland semi-formal for middle school students. The dance will be held on February 10th in the school cafeteria from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The cost is $20 per ticket, which also includes admission, pizza, drinks, and snacks. Please return payment and permission slip to the school by February 8th. Checks can be made out to the HMHS parent group.
The semi-formal is a big milestone in my middle school career.
What about in high school?
Definitely capstone. Kai brings more to the table on the topic.
Capstone is a heavily prevalent word in any HMHS senior's vocabulary. A class that many students dread and an 8 to 10 minute presentation that feels like the end of the world. However, many people's knowledge of capstone only scrapes the surface and remains a mystery for some. So, what is capstone?
Capstone is a graduation requirement course that all seniors take, and it's a chance for them to showcase everything they've learned over the course of their academic career. So they are able to choose a topic of their liking and then they research it in depth, and they can do either a paper, a product, or an event in order to showcase and prove their thesis.
The heavy workload and the added accountability of capstone makes it a strenuous class for any student to keep up with.
I'm not really that good at keeping up with deadlines, especially with like the accumulation of like college applications and everything like that. However, I am very excited to explore a topic that I'm passionate about, and it'll force me to do research and be more educated on it.
Choose a topic that truly interests you and try to really take it for a learning experience that is at your fingertips and not a heavy course load that is dreaded. A lot of students at the end of the class say, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I think just to go in with an open mind and to go in knowing that you can choose and learn about something that you want to learn about.
I definitely struggled with time management. Like I said, following deadlines was kind of difficult, and doing the work independently over a long period of time was definitely a struggle for me.
While capstone can be challenging for anyone, the life lessons and skills that many students learn will help guide them in many future endeavors.
I believe capstone will teach me the principles of doing the work and researching it, and also it will heavily help with public speaking and using language that is kind of advanced while you are speaking to a crowd of people and addressing them, and making sure you sound educated within your language to them.
I learned a lot about self-discipline and following deadlines without being reminded, and doing the work independently, and kind of having to stick to my own plan as opposed to being constantly reminded by teachers.
It comes to no surprise that capstone is a hard class to say the least, but it's a project that can be done if you put in your full effort. With that being said, good luck to the incoming seniors, and great job to the seniors that have already completed their capstones. This has been Kai Forbes with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
I can't wait to participate in capstone.
You're one eager beaver, Madison. You still got one more year to go. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. I'm Jay Patel.
And I'm Madison Burnett. See you next Friday.